like and subscribe. Pretty please. Doctors, what was the best excuse you've heard for someone having something stuck in their ass? Guy came in with a cordless phone up his ass, like one of the old school ones from 15 years ago. He said that when he was in the kitchen bending over opening the oven door, someone threw it through his open window and it just went right up. So the guy was so embarrassed that he shoved a phone up his ass that he decided it would be better to say his asshole was so loose that a phone could just be tossed right in. Well, okay. Related, guy puts a vibrator, one of the massive cordless swan types, way up there, like a mega seed, and it gets sucked into the sigmoid colon. When he gets to me in the ER, I ask him how he was feeling. He answered, "Well doc, I'm way better, since the batteries died, made my night. I've been trying to entertain the medical staff since my open heart surgery was having problems with low blood pressure. It hit 90/58. I got a ringing in my ears. Everything went red and I passed out. Oh no. Yeah, but my carpet smells fantastic. I stuck it up there on purpose and now it's stuck. Please help." It was a perfectly honest and valid reason for have something stuck up your ass, and we helped. No further questions needed. Guy told me he was constipated, so he stuck the broom handle up there to break up the poop. I almost believed him. When I was a student working in an ER, a guy came in with an unraveled wire hanger stuck and hooked up there. He said he was trying to fish out the vibrator he lost. Presented at ER in Sydney with carrot stuck in the ass. "Doctor, what happened?" Patient, "I heard a noise in the garden, went to investigate. Slipped and fell over. Carrot went up my bum." Doctor, "Carrots grow upside down out your way, huh?" "Well, Australia is a down under." I'm a nurse, a male as well. Guy came to my hospital with a cue ball stuck in his rectum. Said him and his wife were having sex and this happened. Made no excuses and showed no shame. ER doc was unable to remove it with forceps and he had to get anesthesia to have a minor surgical procedure to get it out. My job was basically to just go through a pre-surgical checklist and send him on his way. When I'm done he shouts excitedly, "Alright, let's get this ball rolling." I almost died laughing. It was near the end of my shift, and I always wonder what happened to him. I'm sure he did fine, and is back to having amazing kinky sex with his wife. It always boils down to the person accidentally sat on it. The best my dad saw, a former emergency doctor, was a young guy who accidentally sat on a giant tub of Vaseline. Accidentally, I asked how. Doctors record that in their patient files, and the common way to do so is to say, "The patient claims to have sat on X object." I took a walk outside and something just flew into my ass. There was a news story in my country. A man went to the ER and they discovered that he drunkenly put 2 hammerheads in his ass, his reasoning being that he ate a jar of preserved cherries with pits and then had abdominal pain and wanted to smash the pits. Took me a few seconds to realize you didn't mean tiny sharks. Paramedic here had one guy tell me he slipped on a banana peel and landed on the upright vase on the floor. He then proceeded to produce a banana peel for good measure. Jesus Christ, my moment has come. A friend of mine used to work in a dispatch call center for emergency services. In these call centers, there needs to be a triage nurse on site to deal with life-threatening situations. So my mate tells me about this story she had, where a man came in with a garden gnome up his hoop. His story was that he went shopping and locked himself out the house, so needed to climb back in through the second floor window, fell back, and got entered by the gnome. I mean, the gnome was inside his pants, like there was no gnome-shaped hole in his pants, but whatever, let's call it a miracle. So anyway, they get this gnome out, fishing rod and all, patch him up, and send him on his way. 3 hours later a different dude comes in with the same problem, and the same story. After cutting through the bullshit they determined the two blokes had been gnoming each other, realized they both needed doctors, arranged to go to different hospitals with this 200 IQ story, and one of them got mixed up. Still makes me laugh to this day. So I actually once did fall naked in my bedroom, and my ass cheek smashed hard onto the end of a small dumbbell that was angles up at 45 degrees. I'm coming to realize, after reading all of this, that had it hit the bullseye, no one would fucking believe me. A friend of mine works at reception in an ER. She actually had a story about a guy who came in with a dumbbell in his rectum. Although he was considered high priority, they were super busy and there was nowhere near the front to stand, so she told him to wait in the rear. Saw someone with a remote control stuck way up in their colon. She said she was getting herself ready for anal sex with her boyfriend and then it got stuck. The kicker was that she showed up to the hospital with her boyfriend and her husband in tow. My sister is a surgical nurse and a guy came into the hospital with a pool noodle shoved up his ass. It was so deep that they had to cut open his abdomen, intestines, and colon to cut the foam out of him. He said he fell on it while swimming nude, but when they cut him open, it had a condom stretched over the end of it. When they confronted him, he said, "Please, don't tell me, wife." ER nurse, I tried to dig something out of my ass with a BBQ skewer. Skewer got stuck, ripped a hole in his intestines. He waited so long to come in he was septic. Once had to visit and an ICU stay later. Please don't call my mom. Guy was tripping hard on LSD. The best one I've heard is a priest who had peeled a potato and left it on the side for his din. He then decided to hang the curtains back up while nude and fell off the stepladder onto it. It was in the UK paper years ago. If I find it, I'll post the source. A college friend, who is an OR nurse, said the best thing she ever witnessed was a small snow globe with the message "World's Greatest Dad" on the inside. Maybe he dishonored the title of World's Greatest Dad, and this was somehow seen as the best punishment? Or someone got confused when he asked about involving daddy kink into their sex life. Fell down some stairs and someone left a dildo on the bottom. This made my day. My ex is a ER nurse. One night, she sent me a pic of her computer, of what she was working on. 16-year-old male brought in by his mother, shoved a sausage up his ass, and lost it. Imagine the embarrassment of telling mom, "Hey mom, I lost a sausage in my ass, can you take me to the ER? Fucking kids." Not quite the same, but I was in a lecture where someone asked a doctor the strangest foreign body he'd removed, and he said removing a whole carrot from a rectum was pretty memorable. Girl next to me piped up, "OMG, how did someone swallow a whole carrot? Oh you sweet summer child." Not an excuse, but a medic told me that they have contests about what is the most unexpected thing they pulled out of butts. The winner was a guy that put an electric Christmas decoration, the ones you wrap around the tree. In her own words, the legend doesn't say whether he plugged it or not. I should have asked what the excuse was for that one. Worked on ambulances, not a doctor. Mostly bottles or vegetables. The aubergine was the biggest, but potatoes and carrots seemed to be popular. Ketchup, mayo, and glass cola bottles were common at one point. Also one butt plug and a toilet brush. The last two were honest and very distraught. Others all had naked gardening stories. There's an even worse question you haven't asked, which is 4 things people have shoved up their urethras. Only men in my experience. Jack was nimble, Jack was quick, Jack fell while jumping over a candlestick, and the doctor was like, "Right." A light bulb. You could always tell when someone came into the ER with something lodged in their rectum, because everyone would be standing around looking at the x-ray. It was still in perfect light bulb shape. I have no idea how the patient got it up there without breaking it. Worked with an ex-paramedic who told me a guy was cleaning his son's room while nude because his only set of clothes were in to wash while his son was at school, slipped on a sock, and ended up getting Buzz Lightyear stuck up his ass. I asked the important question, of course, were the wings extended? He didn't answer, but we both rocked with laughter. He had a friend in him. Not an ass, but a vagina. I was doing my clinical rotation in 3rd year, did a cervical assessment on 36-week pregnant woman who thought she was in labor. Painful cramping plus discharge. I found 8 gloves of garlic. She thought she could avoid group B strep with it. She read it online. She thought they would dissolve.
Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.